Now, what will it take for us to get that videotape?
Interestingly enough, a story which broke on January 18th, 2018 declared Barack Obama will be returning to politics this year to take on Donald Trump. Again, we see the connection to 18 or 666. As you know, I myself believe that Obama will eventually be revealed to the world as Antichrist. Interestingly enough, the trailer for the movie Black Panther aired during this year's Super Bowl. Remember Beyonce's Super Bowl performance, which honored the Black Panthers, when the Carolina Panthers, led by Cam Newton, a reference to the founder of the Black Panthers, Huey P. Newton, lost to number 18, the rider on the white horse? Also remember Beyonce's husband, Jay-Z's reference to Huey P. Newton in his video, The Story of O.J. The Black Panther is most definitely being stressed to us as being significant as it pertains to end-time prophecy. The movie Black Panther is scheduled to be released February 16th or 2/16. The number 216 is connected to 666 because 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. This is a reference to the identity of the number of the beast found in Revelation 13:18, which can be expressed as 6 cubed. Interestingly enough, the day Barack Obama was born, August 4th, is actually the 216th day of the year. This connects Obama with the number 666 and the Black Panther. Revelation 13:2 describes the Antichrist as a leopard when it declares, "And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority." It is important to mention that a Black Panther is nothing more than a leopard with black pigment or melanistic color. In all of these things, we see a reference to the rise of Antichrist.
You've seen it and made it out alive. I can see you.
The world is changing. Soon there will only be the conquered and the conquerors.
Step into the spotlight.
You are a good man.
Step into the spotlight.
With a good heart. And it's hard for a good man to be a king.
The Black Panther, who made his big screen debut in the recent Captain America Civil War movie, will now be receiving his very own feature film. It comes out next year, February the 16th of 2018, and I'm not even going to bother trying to break down much symbolism in this video. I'm not going to show screenshots. I simply want to show some information as to what I believe is being shown here. It is all about the fifth age, the golden dawn of Lucifer, or the golden age as many of the Luciferians are waiting for. And even in this poster alone, you could see the gold all behind this guy. You can see even the star of Ishtar, the 8-pointed star of new beginning, of the new age, the fifth age that is going to dawn upon this earth. It is all about the final age, the final kingdom, where the return of the fallen fallen angels and their offspring, the Nephilim, will be ruling this earth once again, just as it was before the flood, is exactly what the devil wants. He wants his kingdom restored. Even the letters of the Black Panther, you can see the gold silhouette behind it. Again, you can see the gold all behind the Black Panther, and of course the two horns, always symbolizing this Baphomet kind of symbolism. And I think, again, this is all about the golden age that is coming. However, they want you to think something else. So according to IMDb, it says T'Challa, the new ruler of the advanced kingdom of Wakanda, must defend his land from being torn apart by enemies from outside and inside the country. So basically it's about this new ruler. He has powers and he has to defend his country. But really, I think there is more than meets the eye to what we are being shown here. Alright, so as we look at some information, now this place, Wakanda, is a fictional nation appearing in these comic books by Marvel, and is the home to this superhero, the Black Panther. But what I find quite interesting about this Wakanda is quite telling, I would say, in my opinion, because it is a very advanced civilization. You can see just by the architecture in this particular picture, as well as what you saw in the trailer, that it is very futuristic. It is very technologically advanced. You've even got these flying craft that again are very, very super advanced. To me, this is reminiscent of most likely the technology that was around before the flood, and possibly what was used to build the mega structures that are throughout the earth, like the pyramids, stuff like the Mayans and the Aztecs and all these kinds of things. All of the fallen angel technology, I believe, is what we are being shown here. So this is, to me, taking us right back to the very first golden age, I would say, of the fallen angels, of the Nephilim, the kingdom that they were trying to build many millennia ago, which Abba Yahweh had to destroy because they were corrupting mankind. Even in ancient hieroglyphics, this is something I believe from Egypt. We can see pictures that look like spacecraft, or I shouldn't say there's no such thing as space, obviously, for those who believe in the true cosmology, but these very interesting aircraft that are right there depicted in these ancient hieroglyphic Egyptian drawings that have been found. And so it's quite interesting that possibly they were denoting this special craft that these beings flew in. Even this was shown in the movie Stargate. You know, this goes way back to the 90s with James Spader. And of course, they found all kinds of technology that took them through a portal, and they ended up in a different, of course, they want to make you think that they went to a different planet, but it really, to me, was possibly a spiritual dimension, or possibly Hades, whatever you want to call it. I believe they showed a lot of different kinds of technology in this movie. Again, what these different creatures or these fallen angels can do. They have some crazy technology, and it's interesting how they use the pyramids as their ships and all that kind of thing. So we are being shown a lot of similarities as to what I believe was going on before the flood, possibly afterwards as well. Something else that really caught my attention, and this goes along with this golden age that is coming, was the person that was being questioned by the CIA in that scene with the chairs, and the Black Panther was behind the glass window. He made mention of this El Dorado, which many believe is in South America, but he was saying that it happens to be actually in Africa. And now this El Dorado just so happens to be Spanish for the golden one, or El Hombre Dorado, which is the golden man. So we constantly keep seeing the same theme of gold in many movies, in and much symbolism, in even in music videos, TV shows. We see this a lot, this golden, or this gold imagery, or I believe possibly the golden age that is coming. Lucifer wants very much to restore the kingdom that he had back before the flood. And even if you look at this tribal ceremony for this El Dorado, it says here, now this was written in 1638. The ceremony took place on the appointment of a new ruler. Before taking office, he spent some time secluded in a cave without women, forbidden to eat salt or to go out during daylight. The first journey he had to make was to go to the great lagoon of Guatavita to make offerings and sacrifices to the demon which they worshipped as their god and lord. During the ceremony, which took place at the lagoon, they made a raft of rushes, embellishing and decorating it with the most attractive things they had. They put on it 4 lighted braziers in which they burned much amok, I think is what that says, which is the incense of these natives, and also resin and many other perfumes. The lagoon was large and deep, so that a ship with high sides could sail on it, all loaded with an infinity of men and women dressed in fine plumes, golden plaques, and crowns. As soon as those on the raft began to burn incense, they also lit braziers on the shore so that the smoke hid the light of day. At this time they stripped the heir to his skin and anointed him with a sticky earth on which they placed gold dust. So again, there's this gold, just like here they're wearing golden plaques and crowns, so they placed gold dust so that he was completely covered with this metal. They placed him on the raft, and at his feet they placed a great heap of gold, again, go figure, more gold, and emeralds for him to offer to his god, which is the demon basically. In the raft with him went 4 principal subject chiefs, decked in plumes, crowns, bracelets, pendants, and earrings of all gold. There you go, yet again more gold. They too were naked, and each one carried his offering. When the raft reached the center of the lagoon, they raised a banner as a signal for silence. The gilded Indian then threw out all the pile of gold into the middle of the lake, and the chiefs who had accompanied him did the same on their own accounts. After this, they lowered the flag, which had remained up during the whole time of offering, and as the raft moved toward the shore, the shouting began again with pipes, flutes, and large teams of singers and dancers. With this ceremony, the new ruler was received and was recognized as Lord and King. This is the ceremony that became the famous El Dorado, which has taken so many lives and fortunes. So to me, this sounds like the coming of the false Messiah, this ceremony to usher in the new ruler. They had to offer gold. He was even decked out in gold. Everybody was wearing gold. So really, to me, this is just really showing, again, the golden age of Lucifer. That is coming very, very soon. And I will leave these links so you can read up on this yourself. I believe we are being shown very blatantly about this golden age, that it's all about the return of the Nephilim, the fallen angels, exactly as Isaiah 13:3 talks about. And we've seen this theme of gold many times. You'll remember a children's movie back not that long ago. This was Madagascar Part 2. You'll remember, if you've seen this movie, they were out of water and they went and dug in the area where all the animals were staying on this reserve somewhere in Kenya, I believe it was, or possibly some other place in Africa. But as they dug, all they could find were diamonds and gold. So it makes you wonder whether this is a reference to the same thing that this Black Panther movie is talking about. Again, a reference to the golden age possibly. Then you'll remember commercials like this alien perfume commercial. Great channels like Round Saturn's Eye has really covered and decoded a lot of the symbolism and subliminal messages in this particular advertisement for this cologne, which again is showing the golden age. A lot of gold symbolism is being shown in this particular commercial. Again, you'll see Charlize Theron also going on about this gold. You'll remember a commercial by J'adore, Christian Dior perfume, and of course many know that Charlize Theron is very high up in the secret societies, part of the Illuminati, part of the Luciferian establishment. And I will play her commercial, which you've probably seen already, later on in this video, which I think ties in together nicely with this. Of course, in the new Power Rangers movie, one of the main enemies is called Goldar. Those of you who have been watching the show and know more about that particular franchise know about this character. I did a video maybe some time back about this new Power Rangers movie, but yet again, just like we saw in the El Dorado ritual of him being covered in gold, go figure that this guy, who happens to have wings and horns like Baphomet, is just so happens to be covered all over in gold, just like how they covered this false Messiah figure in the El Dorado ritual in gold dust. Who can forget National Treasure 2 with Nicolas Cage? And what were they looking for in this particular movie? They were looking for a place called Cibola, which is the city of gold. Now, I actually couldn't find a good picture on Google of that scene when he gets there with his family to this city of gold, which just so happened to be under, I can't remember what the name of that mountain is with the different faces of the presidents carved into the mountain. But anyways, this city of gold just so happened to be in America at that for this particular movie. But anyways, again, this theme of gold that is being shown, again, you know, even with the pyramidal symbol, all that kind of thing, I believe again we are being shown the golden age of Lucifer, that the elites are just so itching to make happen. They want to please their master, who is Satan himself. He wants his golden age kingdom restored, and that is what is going to be ruling this world once the bride of Yeshua is taken. And even in the movie Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, we saw again when they finally got to the place where they had all these basically alien beings there. I believe this is totally Nephilim beings here. They showed all of these 13 being, go figure 13, sitting on pyramids of gold, all in this particular chamber room. So here we are again showing this gold, showing this theme of the golden age that is coming very soon. And you know, another reason why I brought up this Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I believe it has to do with the Nephilim, these elongated skulls, stuff that people like Eli Marzulli and others have spoken about before. I find it quite interesting that one of Black Panther's compatriots or fellow fighters, this woman just so happens to be having a skull that looks fairly big, in my opinion. Now, I'm not trying to make fun of her or anything. If she just happens to have a large head, then so be it. But it's just kind of interesting how his head doesn't seem to be nearly as elongated, or his skull doesn't seem to be nearly as elongated as this particular woman is. So is it the fact that she is possibly a Nephilim? It's interesting that even going back to the ancient Egyptian monarchies, it is possible that quite a number of them were actually Nephilim. We had, there's many depictions of them with elongated heads or elongated skulls. So it makes you wonder if whether that is the same thing being pictured here with this particular character, if she possibly is being shown to have an elongated skull, possibly a Nephilim being. And, you know, to make it more interesting, when we look at Wakanda and what is going on there, I found this quite interesting. When you look at the history, according to the comic, the Wakandan royal family began with Bashenga, an ancient Wakandan whose first and only appearance was in Black Panther Volume 1. Bashenga was supposedly the first king of unified Wakanda and the first Black Panther some 10,000 years ago. So to me, that time period is possibly reminiscent of the time before the flood, which is when the fallen angels and the Nephilim were doing their business. So in the distant past, a massive meteorite made up of sound-absorbing mineral vibranium crashed in Wakanda and is unearthed a generation before the events of the present day. T'Challa, a current Black Panther, is the son of T'Chaka, the Black Panther before him, and a descendant of Bashenga. So in current times, this T'Challa is a direct descendant of this Bashenga, who in my opinion is most likely a fallen angel or Nephilim being. Knowing that others would attempt to manipulate and dominate Wakanda for this rare and valuable resource, T'Chaka conceals his country from the outside world. He sells off minute amounts of the valuable vibranium while surreptitiously sending the country's best scholars to study abroad, consequently turning Wakanda into one of the world's most technologically advanced nations. So here they're trying to show that the people went out and studied in order to make it into such an advanced nation, but really I believe it is the technology of the fallen angels and the Nephilim that makes Wakanda a very, very technologically advanced society. But here's what I found very interesting, and it's all about this Black Panther cult. So Wakanda contains a number of religious cults devoted to Heliopolitan deities who left ancient Egypt at the time of the pharaoh. So we know that Helios is basically sun god worship. We know that Egypt worships Ra, Amun-Ra, the sun god. All the same kind of thing is going on here. So Bast, the panther goddess based on Bastet, the ancient Egyptian deity, is the primary deity of Wakanda. So basically mother goddess worship. After the vibranium meteor fell, a number of Wakandans were painfully mutated into demon spirits and began attacking their fellow Wakandans. So, sounds a lot like what was going on in Genesis 6, how the fallen angels were messing with humanity, how humanity's thoughts were just evil, and so how here we have these Wakandans being turned into demon spirits. Sounds like they are being manipulated, their DNA is being manipulated, the very same account in Genesis 6. So T'Challa's ancestor, Bashenga, became the first Black Panther, so basically he morphed into this, or he became this other creature, and closed the vibranium mound to outsiders, forming a religious order, interesting, religious order like the Illuminati, like the mystery religions, that guarded the mound and fought to keep the demon spirits from spreading across the kingdom. The Black Panther is a ceremonial and religious title given to the chief of the Panther tribe. So basically the Black Panther is the chief. It's like he's the high priest. He is the leader of the religion, of the tribe, of this whole ceremonial kind of thing. As part of the cult's ceremonies, a chosen Black Panther is entitled to the use of a heart-shaped herb. The herb enhances the physical attributes of the person who consumes it to near superhuman levels, similar to the super soldier serum. So just like we saw in the trailer and what you even saw in Captain America Civil War, the Black Panther has many incredible abilities, how he's able to leap and jump and has superhuman strength. His suit is of course made by this very rare vibranium, which is something that we would think is fictitious, but possibly the secret societies know all about this stuff. But the main point here is that this Black Panther has his physical attributes are altered. So yet again, just like what we saw even in the trailer for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, they are also people that have been manipulated. Their physical attributes have been altered. They have been changed to near superhuman abilities that they have. So the same kind of thing we are seeing here with this Black Panther, that he has all kinds of abilities, things that normal human beings are just not able to do. And this is what I believe will be the golden age of Lucifer, where these beings are back on the scene again. Isaiah 13:3 has prophesied this, which we have mentioned many times in previous videos, that the giants are coming to fulfill the wrath of Yahweh, that the return of the Nephilim, the return of the fallen angels, along with the dragon, Satan himself, will be ruling this world. And that is what the golden age is going to be about. The time before the flood is going to be restored, and Satan is going to be ruling with his super crazy beings. And who can forget Smaug from the Hobbit series of movies, and of course yet again this theme of gold. You'll remember that he was obsessed with gold. He lived in a castle that was full of gold coins, and he guarded it with a vengeance. And of course he is a dragon. So talk about the dragon Lucifer that is about to be thrown out of the second heaven. He is going to come in great wrath. He and his fallen angels are going to be thrown out of the second heaven and come to the earth, and they are going to have their final time here on this world in the time of the tribulation. So this is what I believe is coming. It is also a counterfeit of the real golden city, which is the city of Yahweh, the New Jerusalem. We see this right in Revelation chapter 21, where it talks about the New Jerusalem. You'll see this for yourself if you read it. It talks about the walls and the gates, and how even the precious stones that make up the foundation. But right at the end in verse 21, it says, "And the street was pure gold, like transparent glass." Of course, the devil just wants to counterfeit Yahweh's plan, Yahweh's design, Yahweh's amazing New Jerusalem that he has for his people. But the real golden age will never be Lucifer's. It will belong to Yeshua HaMashiach, the king that Abba Yahweh has installed in Zion, and he is going to rule this world. Nobody else will do that. Just another reference to this Black Panther, I also found it quite interesting, this performance that Beyonce gave last year, 2016, I believe, at the Super Bowl. Of course, she was dressed like this Black Panther or BLM cult that was going on back then. I'm not sure if they're still around, but of course, she's wearing the black and the gold, very similar to this Black Panther symbolism that we see even in this movie. But again, the golden age, look at the golden microphone. We know that even her hair is gold. We know that Beyonce, just like Charlize Theron that we mentioned earlier, is totally part of the secret societies, the Illuminati. They are all waiting for their golden age, but they are being used. They are pawns. They really don't have any idea of what they are doing. Another reference I found interesting was these scenes showing the red and the blue. Yet again, the mixing of the two pillars to open the third eye to make the purple. And I also found it interesting that these epic battle scenes, they talk about the conquered and the conqueror, showing that the world is going to be ruled by the conquerors. So yet again, much to be compared to what was going on back in Genesis 6, the advent of the fallen angels and what they were doing, mixing with mankind and basically ruling this world, conquering this world for Satan and trying to build their own kingdom. But the same thing, I believe, is being shown in this movie as well. We've even got much Baphomet symbolism with the two horns. We've got other kind of crazy stuff that's going on here. Can't even begin to imagine what this even means. But anyways, I believe we are being shown that the world is about to be conquered again by the fallen angels. They are just itching to come, and I don't believe that can happen until the restrainer has been taken. The Ruach HaKodesh, Yahweh's people, the bride of Yeshua, has to be taken before this event occurs. So don't be fooled. Know what is happening. I believe this is all from Genesis 6. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 6 says that what's been done before will be done again. There is just nothing new under the sun. And just as Genesis 6 says, right from verse 4, there were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God, or the B'nai Ha-Elohim, the fallen angels, came into the daughters of men and bore them children. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown, or the ancient heroes, as the CJB says. So this is when the Nephilim were on the earth. Abba Yahweh had to send the flood to destroy these beings. They were the creation of the fallen angels. They were only all about themselves. They were not worshiping Adonai. They were all about destroying this world and making it for themselves and taking it from mankind. Yahweh gave this world for mankind to rule, not for the devil, not for the fallen angels, and not for their offspring, the Nephilim. It has always been for mankind, and Yeshua is our king. So this movie, in my opinion, is totally showing the golden age that is coming, the golden age of Lucifer, the secret societies, the world leaders, the Luciferian elite. This is what they are waiting for. And all of these movies where we see superheroes, beings with incredible powers, shapeshifters, this is nothing but fallen angel, Nephilim, predictive programming to get humanity ready for what is coming very soon. It is also the end game of the theory of evolution. They are going to use that together with all of this predictive programming to make people believe that human beings are evolving and that they have powers and abilities. But in all honesty, I believe it's all about Lucifer's lust for the golden age to return, what he had before, back before the flood. He is going to have again. Yahweh is going to allow that as part of the great deception, because this world is constantly rejecting the truth that can save them. Just as 2 Thessalonians 2 says that people refuse the love of the truth so that they could be saved. So Yahweh is going to allow a great deception to come. They refused the true Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach. They are going to get the false Messiah along with his minions, along with his fallen angels and his Nephilim offspring. So please put your trust in Yeshua. The signs of the times are all over the place. He is coming very soon for his people. So I pray that you are counted worthy to escape all these things that are coming upon this earth. Again, you do not have to believe anything that I say. Please look into these things for yourself. Do your own research, but be aware of what is being shown to us in plain sight. Abba Yahweh bless you.
The past can be beautiful.